Dead Rails is cooking. I'm not joking. Dead Rails is cooking. But why is Dead Rails cooking? I mean, it came out January 1st of 2025. I think they were going for, like, the first game of 2025 or something. Or I'm just making that up. But it did come out on January 1st, and it already has equated, like, 500 million views. But how? But before I talk about that, I want to bring up another game called Dusty Trip. I think everybody remembers Dusty Trip. When it first came out, it honestly, like, took off. And I think everyone was playing it. And it actually was a really good game. I really enjoyed Dusty Trip. But it's not what it used to be. You will be seeing a video about the downfall of Dusty Trip. Don't worry. But now it only has, like, 20, 30,000 people from players from, what it used to have of, like, 100,000 here and there. And, yeah. But the reason I'm bringing up Dusty Trip is because Dead Rails and Dusty Trip are very similar if you think about it. Dusty Trip, go as far as you can. Dead Rails, go as far as you can. I mean, Dead Rails is a little different because there's, like, a set endpoint at, like, 80,000 meters or something. But other than that, they're pretty similar. Like, raid houses to get, like, materials. Heck, the entities are the same. They're, like, both zombies. And, kind of Dead Rails took Dusty Trip's fuel and made it better. Like, it's way better than Dusty Trip, player count-wise. Yeah. So, Dead Rails is very similar to Dusty Trip. So, we can also see how Dusty Trip blew up with the reasons Dead Rails blew up because they're, like, similar. I'm gonna stop stuttering now and lock in. Yeah, no, I'm capping. What was I gonna say? Then, we also can look at, will Dead Rails start dying like Dusty Trip? Now, it's already, like, surpassed Dusty Trip. I mean, it hasn't hit, like, 1.4 billion visits, I think Dusty Trip has. But it's super close. Like, I don't think Dusty Trip ever had, like, 600,000 players like Dusty Trip has consistently. And that's a big thing. So yeah, we're gonna see how Dead Rails blew up, and if Dead Rails will end up like Dusty Trip and will lose most of its players. Alright, so I think the reason Dead Rails blew up is because, first of all, it's really simple. Oh my gosh. All you do is get on the train and go forward. You can't even go backwards. Like, you can't screw it up. It's super simple. And there's also a bunch of side quests, just like this village I'm passing by. If you want, you can stop by and, raid the village. Maybe, go to a bank, become really rich. So it's simple, but if you want a harder challenge, you can get it. Like, you can do all these side quests, such as taking out, like, outlaw posts and villages. And I think Dead Rails was also sort of like that, except for you had to have, like, a Harvard degree to be able to build the car at the start. But yeah, other than that, Dead Rails was also really simple. Stop at houses, get gas so that way you can keep going, and that's the same thing for Dead Rails, basically. Get coal so that way you can keep going, or just burn the zombies. Yeah, that's a good option too. Yeah. And I think that's, one of the main reasons it blew up is any game that's, like, simple but still fun and can be challenging for the people who, like, want a challenge is, like, destined to do good because, it suits, like, all the audience, basically. Alright, so I just finished yapping about simplicity. Now it's time to talk about the next reason. This is kind of a minor reason, but it's honestly not monetized, which is really nice. I don't know. To me, it feels weird playing a game that has, like, a game pass for, like, 15,000 that I don't have. I don't know. But I really like it because everything's, like, cheap and there's only, like, 3 game passes. And I like that. And yeah, it shows that the devs aren't, like, cash hungry and they just want to make a good game. Yippee! So I'm out of reasons. I mean, not Dusty Trip, I will not say it. Dead Rails is just a good game on its own. I mean, like, there's not really that many, like, reasons. It's just, fun game that's not monetized and it's simple. But will it end up like Dusty Trip, falling off the face of the earth to only around 20 to 30,000 active players? Do I think that? Honestly, I think Dead Rails was a little different from Dusty Trip because the devs are very different. The Dusty Trip devs, I mean, there was quite a bit of monetization in the game. I'll just say that. But in Dead Rails so far, there's nothing. So right now I think that the developers are not, spending their time making updates on the game to make money. They're spending their time on the game to make a good update. Like what Dusty Trip was doing, I don't think they were really making that like good updates. Like they were just making updates to make money off of them, but Dead Rails is making updates to make their game better. And I think that's really good. So as long as the devs stay as like committed to Dead Rails, I don't think it will end up like Dusty Trip. I'm sure it will get like less popular in a bit and maybe only have like 100,000, but I think it will have like always 50 to 100,000 in the following years. So I don't think it will end up like Dusty Trip. I think it's special. I think it's a great game. I encourage you to go play it out. Subscribe!